Yeah.
Giving you the funk 24/7.
We on.
You're listening to Philly Funk Radio.
Turn me on, turn me on, turn me on.
Live from Philadelphia, PA.
All right, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our Philly Live show right here on Philly Funk Radio and Philly Funk Television. And yes, we are live from our studios in Overbrook Farms. And as usual, we have our panel of guests with my co-host, as always, Mr. Van Stone. Van, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Welcome, everyone. I'm Van Stone, the face behind the voice. And, of course, you are tuning in to Philly Live. But not just Philly Live. We're here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's also Cali Live, short for California. And we broadcast nationally pretty good. We have basically so many states that follow us. We have Utah, and we have New York. We have New Jersey. So, this is the end of the year. We're really thanking everyone who's been with us this whole time with all our shows. And, of course, you're our pride. So I just wanted to give a ending message before everyone go and celebrate yourself. Look forward to the next year coming in. Be safe. And, of course, as always, we're here. We got your back, supporting Black Philadelphia and Black Americans. With that in mind, I am here with my co-host today, Jerry Wilson, the one and only, the master behind the broadcasting. And I'm going to give a shout out to, of course, our other co-host. She may be here, Miss Whitney, DJ Whitney. She may come in, she may not, but she's supposed to be celebrating. And a lot of people are not just home here in Philly right now. They're traveling. So with that in mind, I have two special guests here who are going to be more than guests. They are going to be permanent members of the team of Van Stone Philadelphia, WVSR, also WPMR, and all of our radio station affiliates. And let me introduce first a young man. I'm just going to give first name, and then, of course, when I bring him in and we start talking, he'll give his full name and relax. His name is Tyler. He's a college student, and of course, he's from the Philadelphia area. He will be handling our new piece. We've been looking for this for a long time, sports. We've been looking for a sports specialist who can go out and do interviews and cover not just professional sports, but local sports, and you just name it. You can talk about baseball, football, but not just limited to that. Tyler really has an interest in history too. And you know what? We in Philadelphia, we need that because we've been trying to do the history of Philly, especially when it comes to slavery that's been here for so long. And a lot of people don't realize that, once again, I always tell everyone that Philadelphia really is a state city. It's big enough to be a state, but they just didn't make the difference. So we're going to be excited and getting ready for Tyler. Besides that, we have the one and only Wanda Walker. Wanda Walker is really a special professional in so many fields and genres, and we are so glad to have Wanda to our show. Community activist, just so many hats she wears, and of course, with us doing broadcasts, we look forward to Wanda having her own show. Now, it's a rarity with us at our station that the women really take the lead. We have several women on our show. We have Leather Flower, who just joined our team a couple weeks ago. So the women are coming in, and especially our Black women who we are proud of. And now we look forward to giving Wanda Walker her own show, which means that Jerry and we will be in the background. So unless she wants us to be on the show, we're going to produce and everything. And she's going to be able to have all the people that she wants to have on her show come in our Zoom. And that show is going to be on fire. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit with Wanda right now. Let's start with Tyler. Tyler, just give us a little bit about yourself, because I know you're short on time. Do you want the audience to know about you and what your activities are?
Okay, so my name is Tyler McCann. Right now, I'm a LaSalle student. Um, I've been in LaSalle since 2021. My interest is sports, history. Could be like any other form, like entertainment. Like, I'm into like comic book superheroes, wrestling, or whatever else that's Star Wars, stuff like that. Yeah. So I did a video yesterday talking about the Eagles and Cowboys game and how the Eagles blown out the Cowboys. That
Okay.
game was somewhat competitive in the first half, but first quarter. But then in like after the first quarter, it got carried away. So I mostly talk about stuff like that. Then when football season ends, I talk about basketball or whatever that comes on my mind or whatever I'm doing research on. I might talk about some stuff like school stuff, personal stuff that's like especially for the younger people that's like less that I'm older than I might can give advice to like some high schoolers and middle schoolers about like college life or adult life, real life, and yeah, hopefully we can um hopefully this turns out good, and yeah, this is pretty
Okay.
fantastic.
That sounds really exciting, Tyler, especially coming from the young man that you are. And we work with the teens and the youth, and we need you as a mentor to really cover their news coverage.
Mhm.
That's a big problem, big issue. We're working on something really special, Wanda Walker and I, which we're going to talk about that at another time, but it's going to really deal with the teens and the youth dealing with so many problems, unemployment, homelessness, and all kind of things like that. So we're happy to have someone like you who's going to bring the positive side. We need that. It's just a
Yeah.
whole lot of negativity.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of like proud how you're in college, man. And so how many years have you done so far before we switch it over to Wanda?
So I done I'm counting in my head. 4. So I've done 4 years so far. It's gonna
Okay.
be my fifth year, I think. Yeah, like around the fourth or fifth year. So I'm gonna take an extra year 'cause I took a semester off. So like I'm gonna graduate in 2026, and yeah, college student.
Okay, that
Um,
that sounds good. So what we do here, before I go to Wanda, we're all relaxed. This is your first time with the show, Tyler. If
mhm.
you have a question, you'll feel free to just do that. So we're going to do this introduction here. We're going to go to Wanda Walker. Wanda, how are you? And welcome to our show.
Thank you. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Well, we're doing good here. Myself, Jerry,
Awesome. Awesome.
we're excited. We want to hear all about you, our viewers, and so forth and so on, because you've been around for a while. So tell us what you want us to know all about you.
Well, it's not a lot to know about me. The major or the most important thing, particularly for this show and the piece that I bring, is that I am a forever community activist. And I do that because I care and I'm frustrated. I'm fed up with what I keep seeing that repeats itself time and time again with our city officials. The policies are crap, they're corrupt, they don't serve the people, they serve special interests, they serve the developers, they serve the rich people, they serve outsiders, and they serve the politicians. Our policies and our politicians serve and consider everyone first before they consider the people. So everyone else but the people, or everyone else and then the people. And that is just not the order things should be in. And there is a reason why we are the number one poorest big city that pays the most taxes and some of the highest taxes because we are poorly managed. And we see this going on all the time, and people are really, really starting to feel it in their pockets. So regardless of what their news media tells them or their preacher tells them, people know, and they are waking up, because it is extremely hard to sleep or even be entertained when your stomach is growling and your ribs are touching. And this is what we're starting to see. And when these young people wake up, 40 and under, since everyone keeps accusing them of not showing up and not voting, when they do show up, I can guarantee you they are not going to do what their mother and their grandmother and their grandfather and their father has done, which is vote and go to church and pray that things are going to be better. If for no other reason but to be disruptive, because they are angry and frustrated and they don't like us, and they have reasons not to like the elders and their parents and stuff, because they feel that there is nothing worth it for them. There's no future for them because we did not fight hard enough for them. And so when they come to the table or wake up or come to the voting booth, they are going to be doing the opposite of what 50 and older have been doing, which is voting and praying and actually listening to a preacher. There are so many moving parts that play in the demise of Philadelphia, and Black Philadelphia in particular.
Right.
We just saw with the stadium a big sale take place, or a big contract, which is going to allow those realtors to literally be able to monopolize and have major control over downtown. And that's what that stadium was really about.
Right, but Wanda, can I pause you for a second? Because we're going to really talk. We have time. We're going to talk in more detail, but I want to make sure before I throw it to Jerry, for our viewers and our listeners, you are more than just a person to do a little bit. You actually are on what's part of the media circuit. You are on a radio program today. And so I want you to just give us just a little bit more for our viewers so that they can be excited and look forward. So don't be so humble. There's a lot more about you. Yeah, tell us just a little bit more about who you are when it comes to the media broadcasting, and you're dealing with other platforms as well.
Well, thank you for that, Vance. But what's going on is the stars are starting to align. This is not necessarily something that I actually planned. I think in my passion of frustration and showing up at city council every Thursday and speaking out, and then with all the posting that I do on Facebook about political issues and generational wealth, that people have started to take notice because all of these media outlets that are worthy of the community, they want an inside person or someone that shows up. And being that I show up already, it is now opening doors for me that I never even knew existed. And I'm so humble and so appreciative of you and other people who have noticed my passion. And so that's why I'm laughing, because I do try to stay humble. Because you have to realize that sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you can be wrong. But if you don't come off like a know-it-all or someone that's just trying to be, seen, then people can give you wiggle room and forgive, a mistake or something like that. And I don't ever want to forget why I'm out here. And it is truly for the future of our children, not just my children, all children. What they are doing in Philadelphia is horrible. So today I was on 860 AM, and I am on there on a regular basis. And it's so funny that you would mention that, because I went in today specifically, and then they offered a situation where they're like, you have to come back regularly, more regularly, because of the information you bring. Now, when I'm doing a lot of this stuff, or almost 90% of this stuff, I don't get paid. Matter of fact, nothing do I get paid for that you see or know about. So I actually work as a school teacher.
There you
But
go.
I do it in such a way that I let them know there's certain days I'm not available, whereas before I was full time. I literally, the beginning of this was it September, I literally lost money or went and said, hey, there are some things I have to do for a few months riding up to this election that is so important to me. I'm not going to be able to come in certain days. And I was working full time. But luckily, they like me so much as a teacher because I will go any place they send me, and I go places other teachers won't go. And so I still have that on again, off again, part-time position, but I'm a school teacher from K to 12th grade, and 7th and 8th are pretty much the hardest. But I laugh. They send me all over. I go to City Hall every Thursday and speak about generational wealth in particular, and how it is being stolen, and how it is our politicians who are putting policies in place that is literally allowing this. So now once you put them on notice and you send them a couple of emails, they can no longer say they don't know. So now if you're not doing anything to fix it, you're part of the problem, you're part of the conspiracy, and you're part of the corruption. So now when we force an investigation or we start reporting certain facts and figures, then they're culpable. They cannot say they didn't know, because you connect the dots by first asking for help, which we never get, informing them of what's going on, then going down there to speak, and then you start filing your proper complaints. Those complaints, when enough of those complaints come in, then it forces an investigation. Or an audit.
Okay, so Wanda, we're going to pause you there. I'm going to throw it to Jerry. Jerry, do you have a comment, or are we going to go on a break?
We're going to go, we're going to go on a break right now. I'm glad you actually came back to me. So we're going to go on this little break, and we will be right back.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Seconds.
All right. We are back right here on the Philly Live Show, right here on Philly Funk Radio and Philly Funk Television. And let me just put this up here again. If you would like to send us a small donation, you can do so. Just scan the QR code right here, Philly Funk Radio. You can send a Cash App. Also, make sure you click on like, subscribe, and click on the bell notification to be notified when we go live right here on Philly Funk Radio and Philly Funk Television. Okay, so we are back from our break, and we are joined by Mr. Van Stone and by our special guest, Wanda
Walker.
Wanda Walker. Sorry.
And of course,
WW.
And of course, Tyler. So let me say this, coming back in as I always do, guys. Welcome back. Just in case you're just joining the show, I'm Van Stone, the face behind the voice. And of course, you're viewing, listening to Philly Live, and of course, California Live. We're here the last few days of the day before come up to the end of the year. So I always have, a couple of announcements. But first of all, of course, you're with my host here, Jerry Wilson, followed by Tyler. We got to get Tyler to say his last name again in there. And of course, the one and only Wanda Walker. So we're going to talk just a little more, but I want to make some very important announcements. So, what's really going to be exciting is 2025. We're going to have new things going on that's going to expand our radio station network. Everyone is familiar with PhillyFunkRadio.com. If you want to listen to the music, go there. And of course, we have WVSR, WPMR, wandawalker.org. And that is the combination that starts all of the different radio stations that we have. We're on the air live in Philly and West Philadelphia, 89.1 FM. And we are really growing. We have a whole new thing going on audio. We have audio books featuring the one and only myself, an author. I didn't get a chance to talk to Wanda about that, but I'm an author as well.
Wow.
I have a book, Heroes of the Last Q. And we have the audiobook version read by my son, the one and only Chef Stone. Along with that, of course, we have Leatherflower. She's doing audiobooks as well. And we're inviting other authors to come and join our format because we know that trying to get the Black author thing going on, it's just been a big struggle for a long time. And that's why we're here, nonprofit, supporting everyone and anyone who are, independent writers. With that in mind, we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of my whole concept in my book. 50 years old, Heroes of the Last Q, the cartoon. We ran a comic strip for 2 years. That's 30 years old. 30 years old. And boy, we're just going to do a whole anniversary thing. We're going to have Wanda and Tyler involved with that, the whole team. Because as a writer, I know for sure how difficult it is to really get out there. So with that in mind, there's some other things we have, but I'm going to cut that part short. And I want to bring back in just briefly to Tyler. Tyler, can you give everybody your first and last name, even though we'll be calling you Tyler, but at least everybody know who you are for sure.
Tyler McCann.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to throw at that quickly to the point about yourself?
Is there anything else you want me to talk about myself about? I can't think of nothing. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. This show is very relaxed, and that's what everybody likes about the show. So we want to, give the fair share. Mm-hmm. And of course, we have two of you guys on for the first time. We're going to go back now to Wanda Walker. I think we need to talk a little more in detail with you, Wanda. I know there's a lot of things that's going on. We do national news, just to let you know this is your first time on our show. This is a whole different show format. But we're going to look forward to your show because clearly you have a strong, empowering voice. That's what I sent you this nice note. I listened to the show today. You're around a very good host group of people. That's really good. But you kind of remind me of someone who was really big in Philadelphia. Are you familiar with someone named Mary Mason?
I heard about her.
Okay.
I heard about her. Yes.
Yeah. Mary Mason, you kind of remind me of Mary Mason. And I'm going to throw it to Jerry a little bit. He knows about Mary Mason too. Mary Mason was really strong. And she did a solo show. So, sort of like Jerry Wilson, you're going to get to know him. Jerry's been doing a solo show for a long time. He just brought me in. I don't know why. So we've been a team, but Jerry's done a very strong solo show. You have that type of background, in my opinion, voice-wise, and you do need your own show. And then that's what we're going to provide. So we're making an announcement coming into 2025. We're letting all our viewers and listeners know to look forward to this strong Black American, Black woman who's going to go solo and bring out a lot of topic and issues. Then on top of that, you're going to be able to invite who you want to come on the podcast. And it's going to be both video and audio. So we're going to have your show running at a certain time so that all our viewers and listeners, if they miss it, they can catch it. And I really can see that because when you work with certain people and you're trying to get an important point across, which you really have a lot to bring out, you really need to have that time so that the listeners can appreciate that. How you feel about that, Wanda? Because that's what's about to happen.
I very much appreciate it, and I'm very happy about it because I really believe getting the message out to the people will actually create and be the catalyst for the change we need to see happen in Philadelphia.
Okay. Jerry, you got any thoughts?
So yeah, she does remind me a lot of Mary Mason, who actually just passed away earlier this year at the age of 94. And not sure if you guys remember, not sure if you remember, Van, but the studio for the radio station WHAT used to literally be right around the corner from where Philly Funk Radio Studios are right now. And now now that whole block is St. Joseph's University dormitories. But it's just a little history about that. So, and WWDB, which is the station you were on, if I'm correct, I still remember WWDB has a rich history of hosts such as Larry Kane, Irv Homer, and several other famous Philadelphia radio places. It used to be on FM radio. Then the station got sold. Now it's on AM radio. So, yeah, it's just a little history with WWDB. I used to love that station when I was young, working as a night watchman. I used to turn on WWDB at night and just listen to the radio host. So it's good that the station's back around.
Right.
Wow. I didn't hear about Mary Mason. I remember, I think she came up with, because my dad used to service Kathy that owned that hall in Winfield.
Okay.
So I remember making deliveries there. My mother used to listen to the radio, and I chuckled because I would come in the kitchen and she would be listening to, I think it's 990 now. And she would listen to the baseball game even. And we would have to sit there and eat dinner, of course. And I was like, this is just so boring. Not the talk part, but the baseball, the listen to baseball on the radio is so slow. And I chuckle because when she used to do the 990, I remember her nickname being, if I'm correct, because I was little, Seaman. I think they nicknamed her Seaman Head. Wow. Because when she believed in something or had a theory, she held on to it, and she was able to talk on that, what I think was a predominantly white radio station, but it was a talk station, and she could do it in such a way that they would continue to let her talk. And nowadays, I listen to Word, and when I want a full story, because Word is like, to me, one-sided, even though it's black, I'll listen to 990, what is it, 1230, and a couple of other stations, because we have found out the hard way that the news media gives us what they want us to know, not necessarily the whole story. And I noticed that in 990, it is definitely predominantly white and it is Republican, but they don't let you speak if you're not saying, what they want to hear. And so they'll hurry you off, particularly some of the black callers, to the point that you don't even have black callers coming in. With Word Radio, if you're not saying what they're pushing, the Democratic side, they tend to hurry you off. Some of the hosts. That's an understatement, right? And so we're left with wonderful stations and sources like what you're providing, what Beasley Network and 860 is providing, and there's another network that I work with, WBNN, Talk Shoe Radio, and that's at 9:00 at night. And, so what you're seeing is people are going to alternate sources of information or news, because we know we can no longer trust the 4 or 5 news sources that are owned by the 1%ers. And that in itself is going to cause a change with politicians, because there's only so many Al Sharptons and what's the other guy's name? I'm looking right at him. Roland Martins that you can pay. And so the ones of us that don't get paid but are really passionate and committed to the community, we're going to be telling the real truth. And when that real truth hits the street, either these politicians are going to have to do right by us or they're going to be removed. And I think you're going to see some one-time politicians come 2027. This is going to be the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, this stadium, because the truth is going to be for everyone to see, and they're not going to be able to spin it.
Okay. Jerry,
Yep.
you got a thought?
Yeah, I have a question for Wanda, and then we're going to wrap up. What do you think about these news outlets like MSNBC, and I don't know if you heard of this organization called the Young Turks, where now they seemingly turn from staunchly liberal, now they're going conservative. Like, it's just ridiculous. Huh?
Right, they're sucking up. And matter of fact, we've seen the black guy with the glasses. I think his name is Vance. Go from
Van Jones.
Yes, that one. He
Okay.
had so much negative stuff to say about Trump, and now the last thing I posted about him, he's literally calling Trump smart and intelligent. He's the smartest person in the room, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow, what you see is a bunch of sucking up, because they knew better. But you know what? It's like very few people have backbones. And someone else told me not to use the other anatomy, so we'll stick to backbones.
Yes, please.
Yes, but you know where I'm going with this.
I got you.
And it's really sad because we see it in the community. People can know what's right, and if only one person is speaking that right, the other people are very content. And every place I go and everything I see, the committee people, the ward people, the black clergy, the groups that are supposed to stand up for us, like the NAACP and the ACLU, all of these people will go in the direction that they know is leading us to slaughter, as long as it's popular and the news media is pushing it. They're okay, and they don't want to create the waves. They don't even want to give you a little hint. And it's not because so many people are trying to make it seem like it's about Trump. And I have literally walked into rooms this year where they're having the end of the year party for one PA. And they're Trump. And I let them and I said, well, I'm black, as you can see. I'm a female. I'm a Republican, and I voted for Trump. And then I explained to them, it's not about Trump. It is about you all went too left. It's about the lies that you're telling. It's about people being hungry. It's about us sitting here watching people who have never paid a tax in their life in Philadelphia come in already rich and get a 10-year abatement. That was supposed to be for the empowerment zone, not for all of Philadelphia and every developer that decides to land in Philly. We have more black politicians than we ever have before. 58% of city council is black and brown. Philadelphia is still 38 to 42% black. Yet we are on the very bottom. Out of 17 city council people, 14 are Democrats. So tell me, how do you put a black woman that's a black mother of a black son, that used to be a black school teacher, that used to be a black city council, a black state rep, and now is a black mayor who ran on identity politics? Vote for me, I'm black and I'm a female. I want to keep you in your houses. I want to build more affordable housing, and I'm going to not raise taxes. Then come in and do what you just saw done.
Wow.
Like, this, the very black part of you should say, wait a minute, even though I might owe these people whatever because they made sure I got this position and it's the union or whatever, I still have to take care of my seniors first. I got to protect them, and I got to educate my kids first. They are putting, and she is putting, in her administration, and our city council is putting everybody before us. And yes, I take a very big risk by saying this because I'm already being targeted and harassed. But I'm like, if you harass and target me, I swing back. And that's what it has come down to. I know I'm putting myself in danger. I don't care, because this is not living. If this is living where you're always afraid to speak up, where you can't grow your business because you have a politician harassing you and making sure you can't get a license and playing all these personal games, then I don't need to be here. And I'll take the chance, because this is barely surviving. When you can say that you worked 30 years and now you're starting to lose all the things you worked for that are yours because they put policies in place that allow them to steal Black and brown generational wealth, I'd rather not be here. But I'd rather go out knowing that I fought instead of just laid down.
All right. So, Wanda, we're going to pause you there. We're going to throw it to Jerry. Jerry, where we at? How much time we got left?
We're going to wrap up right now. And as always, Wanda, since you're just starting, we do a final thought in 30 seconds or less. And I'm actually going to start with you. What is your final thought for the evening? 30 seconds.
My final thought is for everyone listening, tell somebody else to vote differently. We need to come out of the Democratic Party in droves and sit someplace else, preferably Republicans, for 6 months. And then after 6 months, reassess the situation and see if anybody is giving us respect and consideration, and then decide what party we're going to stay with.
All right. Van, 30 seconds or less.
Is Tyler still here?
Oh, Tyler.
Okay, he dropped off.
He dropped off. He's still in the room. But
okay, well we got 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds. This is going to be the wrap up. So, okay, everyone, happy New Year. And then if we don't see you, happy belated New Year. Be safe in Philadelphia. We're going to do all we can to be prepared for all these positive things that are about to take place. Stick with us, of course, Vanstone Philadelphia, with our radio platforms, with our news platforms. We're really going to throw out the Philadelphia Front Page News. We're welcome Wanda Walker to the Philadelphia Front Page News, where she's going to cover the news and be their City Hall reporter. And also, I think you have another title along with that, since you're the ID, but it's going to be fantastic. So we're going to be up to date on a lot of different things in a different way. That's what we need. And if we don't hear from you guys, be safe until we see you coming into the new year.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
And as you can see in the background, my final thought, if you look in the background, is saying Happy New Year 2025 coming up.
Oh, wait. Jerry.
What?
Tyler is there. Tyler, you there?
Yes.
You got 20 seconds. Can you say anything you want to say? This is what we do in our closeout. You got anything you want to say great about yourself, whatever. 20 seconds. Then we'll let Jerry close it out.
All right, 20 seconds. Will it have to be 20 seconds?
Yes, only 20 seconds. We're about to close. So that's what we do. This is the end.
All right, so this probably won't be that long because hopefully 2025 be a good year for not just me, but for other people too. It's been an up and down year this year, but hey, we got through it. Yesterday, part of this weird year, we had a president that died, God rest his soul. A lot of things. About to be NFL playoffs. We're about to have a new president. Whether y'all like him or not, it is what it is. Hopefully it'll be a good 2025 and better than 2024. Hopefully every year be better than what it was last year. And yes.
All right. Thank you. Jerry, you got the 30 seconds.
So what I was saying is hope everybody has a good new year. Hope, like the other guy said, hopefully 2025 is better than 2024. And coming up, we are actually going to have some interviews with some of the artists that you hear on Philly Funk Radio in the new year. And I would like to give a special shout out to one of those artists, Diane Trevally, a.k.a. B-Fly Lady, whose music does play on Philly Funk Radio. And we're going to interview her sometime at the beginning of February. And she's going to tell you about her career. And also she has a foundation, a nonprofit set up for her late daughter that passed away due to cancer. So we're going to interview her about that, as well as the music career coming up in February. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And again, Happy New Year.
All right.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everybody.